meeting continued for 3 more hours. The alien scientists asked question after question. They wanted to understand everything. Human biology, human history, human psychology. Every answer seemed to disturb them more than the last. Finally, Volk raised his wing arm for silence. The room fell quiet. "I need to speak with our human guests alone," he said. "Please leave us." The other beings stood and left the room. Some moved quickly, as if they were glad to escape. Others lingered near the door, casting uncertain glances back at Yuna and Tay. The purple cloud being was the last to go. It hovered near the exit for a long moment before finally drifting away. When they were alone, Volk let out a long breath. His feathers ruffled and settled. "Thank you for your patience," he said. "I know we have asked many questions." "You are scientists," Yuna replied. "Curiosity is natural." Volk stood and walked to the main screen. He stared at it for a long moment, though it was blank now. "The 4 humans discovered space travel," he said quietly. "The Helix Collective had a debate. What would we do when we found other intelligent species? How would we welcome them into the galactic community?" He turned to face them. "We developed a system. We would study new species carefully, learn their biology, understand their castes. Then we would find their predator class and watch them closely. As long as the predators were few and controlled, we knew the species was safe. They could join us without danger." Yuna felt a cold weight settling in her stomach. She was beginning to understand where this was going. "When we first observed humans," Volk continued, "we were not worried. Your technology was primitive. Your ships were slow. You seemed harmless. We expected to find the usual pattern. A small warrior caste, a large prey population, a species we could safely invite into our community." He walked closer to them. His golden eyes were dark with something like sadness. "Instead we found you. A species with no prey. A species where every individual carries the full instincts of a hunter. 8 billion predators who somehow learn to cooperate instead of destroy each other. We understand how this might seem frightening," Tay said carefully. "Frightening does not begin to describe it," Volk replied. "Do you know why the collective has survived for so long? Because we understand balance. Predators and prey. Hunters and hunted. Every species is both, and we watch the ratio carefully. Too many predators means war and death. Too few means weakness and extinction." He spread his wings wide. "But you have broken this rule completely. You have no prey. You have no balance. And yet you have not destroyed yourselves. You have grown stronger, faster, more capable than any species we have ever studied." Yuna spoke softly. "Does this mean you will reject us? Keep us out of the galactic community?" Volk was silent for a long moment. Then he laughed. It was a strange sound, like wind chimes in a storm. "Reject you? We cannot reject you, even if we wanted to. Do you understand what you have shown us today?" He walked to the window. Outside, the dying star cast red light across the station. Ships from 100 worlds moved through the darkness. "Every species in the collective has protectors," Volk said. "Security forces. Warrior castes. They are essential for survival in a dangerous galaxy. But these protectors are always few. They are always controlled. They are always separate from the general population." He turned back to face them. "If a threat comes to my people, perhaps 1% of us can fight. The rest must run or hide. This is true for almost every species in known space. Our warriors are precious and limited." Yuna felt her heart beating faster. She knew what he was about to say. "But humans are different," Volk continued. "If a threat comes to your species, every single human can fight. Your scientists can become soldiers. Your farmers can become warriors. Your artists can become killers. All of you carry the same instincts. All of you have the same potential. He walked back to the table and sat down heavily. This is why we cannot reject you, he said. And this is why we are afraid. Not because we think you will attack us, but because we have finally understood what humanity truly is. What are we? Una asked. Volk looked at her with ancient, knowing eyes. You are a species that never needed to breed warriors. Because you are all warriors. Every human who has ever lived. Every human child who will ever be born. You do not have soldiers as a caste. You have soldiers as a species. The words hung in the air between them. The collective has existed for millions of years, Volk said. We have seen great empires rise and fall. We have watched species destroy themselves and others. We have learned to predict which beings will bring peace and which will bring war. He shook his head slowly. But we have never seen anything like humanity. You should have torn yourselves apart long ago. Instead, you built civilization. You created art and science and philosophy. You channeled your predator nature into growth instead of destruction. This should not be possible. And yet here you are. Tay spoke. What happens now? What will the collective do? Volk stood. He walked to Una and extended his wing arm, a gesture of respect among his people. Now we welcome you, he said. Not because we are not afraid. We are very afraid. But because we have no choice. Humanity is already among the stars. You cannot be stopped. You can only be befriended. Una took his arm carefully. His feathers were soft beneath her fingers. We do not want conquest, she said. We want partnership, trade, knowledge, peace. I believe you, Volk said. Most humans probably want these things. But I also know what your species can do when it feels threatened. I have seen the evidence today. When a human hunts, nothing escapes. Not mammoths. Not diseases. Not the barriers of space itself. He released her arm and stepped back. So we will be your friends, he said. We will share our knowledge and our worlds. And we will hope very much that we never give humanity a reason to hunt us. Una felt tears in her eyes. Not from sadness. From something more complicated. Pride, perhaps. Or the weight of understanding what her species truly was. We will try to be worthy partners, she said. Volk nodded. I know you will try. That is the other thing we learned about humans today. When you pursue something, you do not give up. Not ever. He walked toward the door, then paused and looked back. The collective will announce their decision tomorrow. Humanity will be invited to join. There will be celebrations and ceremonies. But remember this moment, Dr. Park. Remember that the greatest species in the galaxy looked at humanity and felt fear. He opened the door, not because you are monsters, but because they finally understood that every single human is capable of being one. And somehow, against all odds, you choose not to be. He left the room. Una and Tay stood alone in the silence. After a long moment, Tay spoke. Wow, that was an interesting conference. Una laughed. The sound echoed off the walls of the empty room. Come on, she said. Let us go home and tell the other 8 billion predators the news. We have been invited to join the galaxy. They walked out together. 2 humans among the stars, carrying within them the same fire that had chased mammoths across ice fields. The same hunger that had pushed their ancestors to cross oceans and mountains. The same relentless drive that had taken them from caves to spacecraft in the blink of cosmic time. They were predators. All of them. Every single one. And they were just getting started. The silence stretched through the circular room. Una could hear the soft hum of the station around them. Somewhere, machines were keeping them alive in the cold of space. But in this room, Every being was frozen with thought. Finally, Volk spoke. His voice was careful, measured, like he was walking on ice that might break at any moment. "Your words are interesting," he said, "but words are not proof. The Helix Collective deals in evidence, data, observable facts. Can you show us what you describe?" Tay stepped forward. "May I use your display system?" Volk nodded slowly. He touched a panel and the screens flickered, ready for input. Tay connected his tablet to the alien system. The screens came alive with images from Earth, maps and photographs and videos that told the story of humanity. "Let me show you evidence," Tay said. "Let me show you what 8 billion predators have done with their planet." The first image was a map of Earth from 200,000 years ago. A small red dot glowed in East Africa. "This is where humans began," Tay said. "A small group of primates on a single continent, surrounded by predators much larger and stronger than them. Lions, crocodiles, hyenas. By your logic, these early humans should have stayed hidden. They should have developed a prey mentality to survive." He touched the screen. The time moved forward. The red dot spread. Instead, they expanded. They walked out of Africa and into every corner of the world. They crossed deserts where nothing should survive. They climbed mountains where the air is too thin to breathe. They reached frozen lands where temperatures dropped below what any warm-blooded creature should tolerate. The red color spread across the entire globe. Every continent, every island, every possible environment. "No other species on Earth has done this," Tay said. "No other species has colonized every biome on the planet. Humans did not wait for evolution to adapt them. They adapted themselves. They made tools, clothes, shelter, fire. They changed their behavior to match whatever challenge they faced. The crystal being rustled its branches. This expansion took many generations? Thousands of years," Tay confirmed. "But consider what this means. Humans did not spread because conditions were easy. They spread because they could not stop moving. They could not stop exploring. They could not stop pushing into new territories. This is predator behavior. This is the hunt for new resources, new opportunities, new prey." He changed the screen to show ancient cave paintings. Hunters chasing animals many times their size. "Early humans hunted mammoths," he said. "These were creatures weighing 10,000 kilograms. Humans weighed less than 100 kilograms. The size difference meant nothing. Groups of humans would track a mammoth for days. They would throw spears and rocks. They would wound it slowly. They would follow the blood trail. They would never stop until the mammoth was too weak to continue. The purple cloud being flickered. This seems inefficient. Surely larger, stronger predators had more success." Yuna answered, "Those larger predators are extinct now. The mammoths are extinct too. Humans killed them. All of them. Across every continent where mammoths lived, humans arrived and mammoths disappeared. The same happened with many large animals. Humans were too effective." Tay nodded. "This is the danger of a species where everyone is a predator. We do not know when to stop. We do not have a prey population keeping us in check. We hunt until there is nothing left to hunt. Then we find something else." He changed the screen again. This time, it showed human agriculture. Fields of grain stretching to the horizon. "When we ran out of large animals to hunt, we changed our strategy," he said. "We domesticated plants and animals. We created farms. But look closely at what farming really is." The screen showed humans planting, watering, harvesting. An endless cycle of work. "Farming is hunting that never ends," Tay explained. "We stalk the seasons. We track the weather. We pursue the harvest with the same patience our ancestors used to pursue mammoths. A farmer watches their crops like a hunter watches prey. They wait for the perfect moment. They strike when the time is right. Volk leaned forward. You are saying that even your peaceful activities are forms of hunting? Yes, Una said. Because hunting is not just about killing. It is about pursuit, focus, patience. These traits are wired into every human. We cannot remove them. We can only point them at different targets. Tay changed the screen again. Now it showed human cities. Millions of lights glowing in the darkness of night. 8 billion humans live on Earth now, he said. By your standards, this should be impossible. 8 billion predators in one territory? They should have destroyed each other long ago. They should have competed until only a few remained. He zoomed in on the cities. Streets filled with people walking, driving, living their lives. But humans found another way. We created civilization, laws, cooperation, trade. Instead of killing each other for resources, we agreed to share. Instead of fighting over territory, we built boundaries. Instead of war without end, we invented diplomacy. The crystal being spoke. This seems to contradict your claim. If humans can cooperate so well, perhaps you are not predators after all. Una shook her head. No, you misunderstand. Cooperation is exactly what predators do. Wolves cooperate to bring down elk. Lions cooperate to defend their territory. Humans cooperate to achieve goals that no single person could reach alone. She stood and pointed at the cities on screen. Every building you see was built by humans working together. Every road was planned and constructed by teams. Every machine, every medicine, every piece of technology came from humans, combining their predator focus into a single pursuit. This is not the absence of predator nature. This is predator nature at its most powerful. Tay pulled up new data. Statistics and charts that made the alien scientists lean closer. Human economic output, he said. In 200 years, humans went from farming and crafting to landing on their moon. In 50 more years, they reached other planets. In another 50, they built ships that could fold space itself. This speed of advancement is unprecedented in your records. We noticed this, Volk admitted. Human technological growth is unusually fast. We assumed you had found some shortcut, some secret method. The secret is simple, Tay said. Every human is driven to pursue, to achieve, to hunt success. When you put 8 billion of these beings together and give them tools to cooperate, they accomplish things that should take millions of years. They compress time itself through the force of their combined will. He showed one final image. A human standing on the surface of Mars, a red landscape stretching behind them. A flag planted in alien soil. This was taken 30 years ago, Tay said. Humans had never left their planet before this century. Now they live on 2 worlds and are reaching for more. Not because they need to, but because the hunger to explore, to expand, to hunt new horizons is in every single one of them. He turned off the display and faced the assembled beings. This is the evidence you asked for, he said. Humanity did not conquer their world by being careful. They conquered it by being relentless. And now they are doing the same to the stars. The room was silent. Every alien being was staring at the 2 humans with new understanding. And perhaps Una thought with new fear. Do you understand now? She asked softly. Do you see why your tests found what they found? Volk slowly nodded. His feathers lay flat against his body. His golden eyes were wide and troubled. Yes, he whispered. I believe we do. Volk leaned forward. His golden eyes had not blinked since Una made her statement. The other beings in the room were still and quiet. The air felt heavy with tension. Yes, Volk said finally. We would very much like to hear the answer. How does a species survive when every member is a predator? Una walked back to her seat. She sat down calmly. Tay remained standing beside her, Together, they faced the greatest biological minds in the galaxy. To understand humans, Una began, you need to understand Earth. Our planet is dangerous. Very dangerous. The climate changes constantly. Ice ages come and go. Forests become deserts. Oceans rise and fall. The species that survive on Earth are the ones that can adapt to anything. She touched the panel on the table. The screen changed to show Earth from space. Blue and green and white. Beautiful and deadly. Our ancestors evolved in Africa, she continued. They were not the strongest animals. They were not the fastest. They did not have claws or fangs or armor. But they had something else. They had minds that could plan, and bodies that could keep going when other animals stopped. Tay spoke next. Human beings are endurance hunters. Do you know what that means? The crystal tree being shook its branches. We are not familiar with that term. It means we do not catch our prey quickly, Tay explained. We follow it. For hours. For days. We walk and run and walk again. Most animals can run faster than humans for a short time. But they get tired. They have to stop and rest. Humans do not stop. We keep coming. Eventually, the prey is too exhausted to run anymore. Then we catch it. Volk looked disturbed. You tie your prey to death? Yes, Una said. Our bodies are designed for this. We can sweat to cool ourselves. Most animals cannot. We can carry water with us. We can track prey by footprints and broken branches. We can work together in groups to surround our target. Nothing escapes us. Not forever. The purple cloud being spoke. This explains the endurance markers in your genetics. But it does not explain how you survive together. Predators compete with each other. They fight over food and territory. They kill each other. This is basic biology. That is where you are wrong, Una said. Predators can compete, but they can also cooperate. Wolves hunt in packs. Lions work together. Humans took cooperation further than any other predator on Earth. She changed the screen again. This time, it showed images of early humans. Small groups gathered around fires, working together to bring down large animals. We are social predators, Una explained. We form bonds. We create families and tribes and nations. We share food and knowledge. We protect each other's children. Yes, we have the instincts to hunt and kill, but we also have the instincts to love and care for our pack. Your pack being other humans, Volk said slowly. Yes, and sometimes even other species. We form bonds with animals. Dogs, horses, cats. We bring them into our packs. We protect them as if they were our own children. This is not weakness. This is how social predators become stronger. The crystal being spoke again. But surely this causes conflict. If all humans are predators, they must fight for dominance. Your history would be filled with violence. Tay laughed softly. It was not a happy sound. Our history is filled with violence, he admitted. Humans have fought each other since the beginning. Wars and battles and countless deaths. We do not hide from this truth. Then how did you survive? Volk asked. Yuna answered. We survived because we learned to control our instincts. Yes, we are predators. Yes, we can be violent. But we also build laws and customs and societies. We created rules to manage our aggression. We invented sports and games to satisfy our need for competition. We directed our hunting instincts toward goals instead of each other. She stood up again and walked around the table. The alien scientists watched her carefully. Think about what humans do, she said. We set goals and we pursue them without stopping. We want to climb a mountain? We train and prepare and climb until we reach the top. We want to cure a disease. We study and experiment until we find the answer. We want to explore space. We build rockets and send ourselves into the void. She stopped in front of Volk. This is what predator instincts look like in an intelligent species, she said. We chase our goals like our ancestors chase prey. We never give up. We never stop. We adapt to every obstacle. And eventually, we catch what we are hunting. Volk was silent for a long moment. Then he asked a question that seemed to cause him great difficulty. What happens when a human cannot catch their goal? Una smiled sadly. That is when humans become dangerous. Not to others, usually. To themselves. Humans who cannot hunt, who cannot chase, who cannot have purpose. They suffer. They become sick in their minds. They need something to pursue. It is built into our nature. Tay added, this is why human society creates so many challenges. Jobs, careers, hobbies, competitions. We need things to chase. We need problems to solve. Without something to hunt, we lose ourselves. The purple cloud being pulsed with new colors. Yellows and oranges that might have been surprise or understanding. You have turned your predator nature into productivity, it said. Instead of hunting animals, you hunt knowledge, success, achievement. Yes, Una said, but do not mistake us for tame creatures. The hunter is still there. The instincts still exist. When humans are threatened, when our families or tribes are in danger, we become what our ancestors were. We become relentless. We become patient. We become absolutely terrifying. She let that statement hang in the air. This is why you found predator markers in every human, she continued. Because every human carries this potential. The teacher who shapes young minds? She has the patience of a persistence hunter. The scientist who works for years on a single problem. He has the focus of a tracker following footprints. The parent who works 3 jobs to feed their children. They have the endurance that led our ancestors cross continents. Volk finally blinked. His golden eyes were troubled. We assume that your species must have separated, he said. That some of you evolved past the need for predator instincts. That your thinkers and artists and builders must be different from your warriors. They are not different, Tay said. They are the same. The poet who creates beautiful words? He is still a predator. The nurse who heals the sick? She is still a predator. The farmer who grows food? Still a predator. We just choose different prey. Una returned to her seat. She looked around at the alien beings who had summoned her here. They seemed smaller now, more fragile. She felt no pride in this, only a kind of tired understanding. You divide yourselves into roles, she said gently. Predators and prey, hunters and hiders. You think this makes you civilized. You think this brings peace. But it also makes you weak. When danger comes, only a few of you can fight. The rest can only run. She leaned forward. Humans are different. When danger comes, all of us can fight. All of us can adapt. All of us can become what we need to be. This is why we survived our dangerous planet. This is why we reached the stars. And this is why your tests showed what they showed. She spoke the final words clearly, letting them ring through the silent room. Every human is a predator, not because we chose it, but because Earth gave us no other option. It was evolve or die. And we evolved. The room remained silent after Una spoke. Ambassador Volk stared at her with his large golden eyes. The other beings shifted in their seats, the purple cloud being pulsed with darker colors. Something like confusion filled the air. I do not understand your meaning, Volk said finally. Please explain. Una looked at the screens on the walls. They showed human DNA sequences. They showed charts and graphs comparing human genetics to thousands of other species. The The data was beautiful and complex, but she could see where the aliens had made their mistake. "Before I answer your question," Una said, "I need to understand something. You mentioned that species develop specialized castes. Can you tell me more about how this works?" Volk nodded. He touched a panel on the table. One of the screens changed to show a creature that looked like a large insect with hard shell armor. "The Krix are a good example," he said. "They developed intelligence approximately 4 million years ago. As they evolved, they split into 5 distinct castes. Workers have strong bodies, but smaller brains. Thinkers have large brains but weak bodies. Soldiers have weapons built into their limbs. Breeders focus only on reproduction, and rulers coordinate all the others. Each caste has different DNA." Tay asked. "Yes, the differences are significant. A Krix worker cannot become a thinker. A thinker cannot become a soldier. Their bodies and minds are designed for one purpose only. This is how they achieved efficiency. This is how they built their civilization." The purple cloud being spoke next. "My species is similar. We exist in 3 forms. Those who gather information, those who process information, those who act on information. We cannot change our form. We are born into our role." Una listened carefully. She was beginning to see the picture more clearly now. "And your predator castes," she said. "The beings who hunt. What are they like?" Volk changed the screen again. This time, it showed various species with sharp teeth, claws, and powerful muscles. "Predator castes are rare and carefully controlled," he explained. "They carry ancient genetic markers from before their species became intelligent. Forward-facing eyes for tracking prey. Strong muscles for attack. Aggressive hormones that can be triggered when needed. Most civilized species keep only a small number of predator types. Perhaps 1% of the population. They are used for defense, for security, for dangerous work, and the rest of the population?" Una asked. "They carry prey genetics," Volk said simply. "Eyes on the sides of their heads. Instincts for hiding and running. Fear responses that keep them safe. This is normal. This is how intelligent species survive. The many hide and work. The few hunt and protect." Tay leaned forward in his seat. "You are saying that in most species, 99% of the population has the instincts of prey animals, and only 1% has predator instincts?" "Yes, sometimes even less than 1%. Predator genetics are dangerous. They can cause violence, aggression, conflict. Most species learn to limit these traits through selective breeding. They keep their predators controlled and few in number." Una felt something strange in her chest. It was not fear exactly. It was more like excitement. She was starting to understand why the Helix Collective was so confused about humans. "Can you show me the data on humans?" she asked. "I want to see what your tests found." Volk hesitated. He glanced at the other beings in the room. They seemed nervous. Finally, he touched the panel again. The screen filled with human genetic data. Una recognized most of it, but there were new markers highlighted in red, things that human scientists had never thought to look for. "These are the genetic markers we use to identify predator castes," Volk said. His voice was quieter now, almost worried. "Forward-facing eye placement, binocular vision capability, endurance muscle fiber ratios, cooperative hunting hormones, pack bonding instincts, persistence tracking neural patterns." The screen showed percentage bars next to each marker. Una felt her breath catch in her throat. Every single bar was at 100%. "We tested 3,000 human samples," Volk continued. "Samples from every part of your planet. Every age group. Every profession. Scientists, artists, Teachers, farmers, children, old people. It did not matter. He stood up from his seat, his feathers ruffled with visible distress. Every human we tested showed complete predator markers. Every single one. Not 99%. Not 50%. 100%. This is not possible. This goes against everything we understand about evolution. The purple cloud being pulsed rapidly. We thought there must be an error. We ran the tests again and again. The results were always the same. Another being spoke. It looked like a tree made of crystal. Its voice sounded like breaking glass. We considered that perhaps humans hide their prey caste. Perhaps there is a group we have not sampled. But your population records show no hidden groups. 8 billion humans on your planet. All accessible. All carrying predator genetics. Yuna looked at Tay. He was smiling now. A strange, proud smile. You are confused, Yuna said to the room, because you are asking the wrong question. Volk sat down slowly. What do you mean? You keep asking which humans are the predators, Yuna said. You expect there to be a small group. A special caste. Warriors who carry the hunting instincts while the rest of us hide. She stood up from her seat. She walked toward the main screen. A reflection appeared in the data display. A small human woman surrounded by evidence of what her species truly was. But that is not how humans work, she said. We did not evolve like other intelligent species. We did not develop castes. We did not separate into predators and prey. She turned to face the room. 30 alien scientists stared back at her. On Earth, our ancestors faced a choice. They could specialize. They could divide into different types. Some could become strong fighters. Some could become careful hiders. This would have been efficient. This would have been safe. Yuna paused. She thought about human history. All the struggles. All the victories. All the impossible things her species had done. But they did not choose safety, she said. They chose something else. Something that your species apparently never considered. What did they choose? Volk asked. His voice was barely a whisper. Yuna smiled. It was not a gentle smile. It was the smile of a species that had hunted mammoths across frozen plains. The smile of a species that had conquered every environment on their planet. The smile of a species that had looked up at the stars and decided to reach them. They chose to make everyone a predator, she said. Not some of us. Not a special few. All of us. Every human ever born. Every human that will ever be born. We carry the hunter inside us. It is not optional. It is not rare. It is what we are. The room was completely silent. Tay stood up and joined Yuna. He looked at the alien scientists with something like pity in his eyes. You asked which humans are top predators, he said. Now you have your answer. All of us. Every single one. It is mandatory equipment. The purple cloud being flickered and dimmed. Several of the aliens pulled back from the table. Volk's golden eyes had grown wide with something that looked very much like fear. That cannot be, he said. 8 billion predators on one planet? How did you not destroy yourselves? Yuna and Tay exchanged a glance. That, Yuna said quietly, is a very good question. Would you like to hear the answer? Dr. Yuna Park had spent 15 years studying alien genetics. She had seen creatures with 6 hearts. She had mapped DNA that twisted in ways Earth scientists never imagined. But she had never been summoned to the Galactic Biology Summit before. The message came at 3 in the morning. Her tablet glowed in the dark room. The words were simple but strange. Your presence is required. The Helix Collective has questions about human biology. Transport will arrive in 6 hours. Yuna sat up in her bed. Her heart beat fast. The Helix Collective was the oldest group of species in known space. They had been studying life forms for millions of years. What could they possibly want to know about humans? She called her colleague, Dr. Tae Kim. He answered on the second ring. His voice was tired but alert. "Did you get the message too?" Yuna asked. "I did," Tae said. "I have no idea what this is about, but we should probably pack." The transport ship arrived exactly on time. It was a smooth silver vessel that made no sound as it landed in the research center parking lot. Yuna and Tae walked up the ramp with small bags over their shoulders. They did not know how long they would be gone. Inside the ship, everything was clean and white. The seats adjusted to fit human bodies automatically. A soft voice spoke in perfect Korean, welcoming them aboard. The trip would take 4 days through folded space. During the journey, Yuna and Tae talked about what might be waiting for them. The Helix Collective studied biology across the galaxy. They had records of over 2 million intelligent species. They had seen life evolve on frozen worlds and burning deserts. They understood genetics better than any other group in existence. Maybe they found something unusual in human DNA, Tae suggested. Something we missed. "We have mapped the human genome completely," Yuna replied. "What could they find that we did not?" Tae shrugged. "They have been doing this for a very long time. Maybe they see patterns we cannot see yet." The summit was held on a station that orbited a dying star. The station was enormous. It stretched across space like a ring of light. Thousands of species came here to share knowledge about life and evolution. It was the greatest collection of biological data in the universe. When Yuna and Tae stepped off the ship, they were greeted by a being called Ambassador Volk. Volk belonged to a species that looked like tall birds with silver feathers. His eyes were large and golden. They seemed to hold great wisdom and great curiosity at the same time. "Dr. Park, Dr. Kim, thank you for coming so quickly," Volk said. His voice was musical, like wind through hollow tubes. "We have been wanting to speak with human geneticists for some time." "We are honored to be here," Yuna said. "But we do not understand why you called us. What do you wish to know?" Volk tilted his head. The movement was very bird-like. "Let us walk. I will explain." They walked through corridors made of something that looked like glass but felt warm to the touch. Other beings passed them. Some had many legs. Some floated in the air. Some moved in ways that hurt Yuna's eyes to watch. Every one of them was a scientist of some kind. "The Helix Collective has studied humans for 87 of your years," Volk explained as they walked. "Since your species first sent radio signals into space, we have collected data. We have observed your behavior. We have analyzed samples of your genetic material that were provided through diplomatic exchanges." "And what have you found?" Tae asked. Volk stopped walking. He turned to face them. His golden eyes seemed troubled. "We have found something we do not understand," Volk said. "And among the collective, that is a rare and unsettling thing." He led them to a large circular room. The walls were covered with screens showing data and images. In the center of the room was a round table with seats of many different shapes and sizes. About 30 beings were already seated. They all turned to look at the humans as they entered. Yuna felt very small suddenly. These were the greatest biological minds in the galaxy. They had solved mysteries that humans had not even discovered yet. And they were all looking at her and Tae like they were puzzles that needed solving. Volk guided them to 2 seats that had been made for human bodies. Yuna sat down carefully. Her hands were sweating. "Distinguished colleagues," Volk announced to the room. "Our human guests have arrived. Dr. Yuna Park and Dr. Tae Kim are leading experts in human genetics. They have agreed to help us understand what we have observed." A being that looked like a floating cloud of purple mist spoke first. Its voice seemed to come from everywhere at once. We are grateful. The human question has troubled us for many cycles. The human question? Una repeated. What question? Volk sat down across from them. He folded his wing-like arms in front of him. On every world we have studied, intelligent life follows certain patterns. He began. Species evolve into different roles. Some become prey. Some become predators. Usually, by the time a species develops technology and society, it has also developed specialized castes. Thinkers, workers, warriors, hunters. Each group carries different genetic markers. Each is built for a different purpose. Una nodded slowly. This made sense from an evolutionary perspective. Specialization was efficient. We have seen this pattern on thousands of worlds, Volk continued. The collective itself is made of species that follow this rule. My own people have 3 distinct biological castes. Our scientists are different from our laborers at the genetic level. Humans do not have castes, Tay said. We know, Volk replied. That is part of the mystery. But it is not the main question we wish to ask. He leaned forward. His golden eyes locked onto Una's face. We need to know which of your people are the predators, Volk said. We have studied your genetics carefully. We have looked for the markers that separate hunters from prey. We expected to find that some humans carry predator genes while others do not. Instead, we found something that has confused every scientist in this room. Una felt her heart beating harder. She was starting to understand why they had been called here. What did you find? She asked quietly. Volk glanced around the room. The other beings were silent, waiting. We found that we cannot identify your predator caste, Volk said, because the predator markers appear in every single human we tested. Everyone. Without exception. This should not be possible. It goes against everything we know about how intelligent species develop. He spread his wing arms wide. So we ask you, Dr. Park, Dr. Kim, please help us understand. Which humans are the predators? And why does it appear that all of you carry the genetics of hunters? The room was silent. Every alien eye was fixed on the 2 humans. Una looked at Tay. Tay looked back at her. A small smile crossed his face. Una turned back to Volk. She took a deep breath. I think, she said slowly, that you may have already found your answer. You are just not ready to believe it yet.